Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we're here again with Laurie Hardie, who is a professional life coach, spiritual mentor, podcaster, who has an amazing podcast that we're going to talk about later in this hour. But we're going to talk about social wellness. We talked a little bit about occupational wellness. And in this segment, we're going to talk about social wellness. What does social wellness mean, Laurie?
During COVID, I think we all experienced what it feels like to be lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for elders, it's more so, especially if they're put in a place where they cannot leave to be social. And usually they create scenarios for social interaction. But if we as a society can step in, my friend Precious, who has what she calls generational compassion, if you go and you offer a drink of water, you offer a game of cards, maybe read a chapter of a book, that is so huge to somebody who's shut in that we can really make a difference. And as I was saying earlier, if we open our hearts and listen to the story, they can make a difference in our life as we're doing these simple, easy things that only take 15 minutes or less.
Yeah. And I'm going to bring that what you're saying into it like a bigger perspective. And that is knowing that you're an integral part of a community. I think there's things going on around us all over the place where we find, there's things to volunteer, there's things to do. Whatever you're called to, it's about connection. It's about building relationships, but it's also realizing, I think one of the things that we talked about, first of all, is our self-care. What are we talking to ourselves about? How do we affirm ourselves in the things that we do? Because, you're not going to get that when you're old like us, you don't get that positive affirmation very much. You might give it to your grandchildren, you might give it to your children, but you're certainly probably not getting the same back. So we have to rely on ourselves. And how do you work with people to help with that?
I ask them to pay attention to their self-talk. And often it goes back to their childhood, something that their parent or a caregiver said, whether it was meant ill-intentionally or not. And so recognizing it, and this is what I say, recognize what it is. So recently, a professor, his message came from a very brilliant family, and they said to him, "You don't have a brain," because he wasn't the smartest in the family. So recognizing that, I do have a brain, and then go look for proof. I've been asked to write 2 books. I guess I do have a brain. I have connected people. And so redoing those messages, because when Elle said her quote is, it is an act of community service when we do self-healing. So
absolutely.
If we live in those bad messages, we're not helping anyone. But if we take the time to heal ourselves and change those messages, we're going to be better for everyone around us.
Absolutely. I teach caregivers. This is a great thing that you say. We can deal with a lot of resentments. Our spouses can push our buttons better than anybody else. Siblings are terrible. Sometimes they're inconsiderate. They don't even think about it. And there's resentment can be built up unbelievably. What I have is what's called Look for the Diamonds. And it was actually coming from my aunt that I had that really mentored me as a child. And she talked about every opportunity, there's an opportunity to gain wisdom. And so I have these little cards. And for those of you, we'll make sure that we link them on our website, but it's called Look for the Diamonds. And it's a little card that you put up on your bathroom mirror, and you look at them and you ask yourself these questions every night. What did I learn today? How did I grow today? How did I become a better person? How did I handle a difficult situation? And if there are things that you can connect to the things you did right, as soon as you go to bed at night, you can think about those things, that these are all gifts in your life. And that's, I think, sometimes we don't recognize.
Yeah, I love that. And it's personal growth is so important, even in our later years. And often when we hold tight to, I have to be the only caregiver, what we're doing is we are creating an atmosphere where the person we're caring for does not get an opportunity to meet with other people because we're so overbearing. And one lady I said, she said, well, my friend wants to take Granny to the store. And I go, well, let her. She goes, well, I have to do it. I'm the oldest. And I said, well, what if you let her? So she did. She let her friend who said, I want to take Granny to the store. Well, she took Granny to the store. They bought groceries, put it away, played cards. And friend said, can I do this every other week or every other
I love
week?
that. And you know what? There's your community. And so Laurie and I, we're going to come back and talk about her podcast and all of the things that's going on in her world right after this. We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.